today is the youngest you'll ever be.
Right?
Today is the youngest I will ever be. So, how can I make sure that every day I feel good? Pillars of longevity, the things that we can do now to make sure 20 years from now we're still feeling great.
Welcome to the Island Girls Rock Podcast. Here, we honor the stories, voices, and everyday magic of Caribbean women and girls across generations. Let's get into today's conversation. Okay, everyone, so we're back. And today on the podcast, I am in conversation with Sharon Feanny. Sharon is a wellness pioneer, yoga teacher, and guide for women navigating midlife with strength, care, and grace. With more than 3 decades of experience, Sharon has played a really significant role in shaping Jamaica's wellness landscape, including founding the island's first full-service yoga studio. Her work is deeply rooted in ancestral Caribbean knowledge, lived experience, and a deep commitment to supporting women as they age with vitality, presence, and self-trust. Based in Treasure Beach, Jamaica, Sharon is deeply connected to her community and has been actively involved in care and response following the impact of Hurricane Melissa. At just 60, she continues to hold space for women to move, rest, nourish themselves, and reconnect, especially during seasons of upheaval and change. Sharon's life and work remind us that midlife is not a slowing down, but a powerful moment of clarity, connection, and becoming. Sharon, welcome to the Island Girls Rock Podcast.
Thank you, Shani. So wonderful to be here.
And even though I've given it away, let the people them know which island you're repping today.
I am proudly repping the island of Jamaica.
Yay! We're so happy to have you here. You know what, Sharon? A lot of people don't know I'm actually half Jamaican.
Oh, okay.
I am Nigerian and Jamaican, and proudly so. My Jamaican family, they are from Porus.
Okay. Wow.
Yes, indeed.
Beautiful part of Jamaica.
Yes, indeed. So, Jamaica Treasure Beach in particular, what does it mean to you to be rooted in Treasure Beach right now?
So I'm not from Treasure Beach, but
Mm,
18 years ago, my
yes.
husband and I decided to invest in Treasure
Hmm.
Beach because we just absolutely fell in love with the community.
Right.
Treasure Beach is a small, sleepy fishing town, fishing
Hmm.
village, really, and the south coast of Jamaica. There's only really one major hotel, which is a very sort of bohemian hotel that's very well known called Jake's.
Yes.
And we just fell in love with the vibe, the people, and decided that we would create a little. We bought a little villa there, and slowly over the years have converted it into this sweetest little beach house. I would call it the beach
Oh,
house you dream of.
right.
And we rent it out to, we rent it to guests.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
but every opportunity that we can to be there, we are there.
I love that. And
Yes.
Sharon, forgive me because I kind of dove right in there without even asking you, how are you doing post Hurricane Melissa?
Well, thank you for asking. I mean, Shani, I'm just so filled with gratitude because when you
Mm,
see devastation, um,
hmm.
we live in Kingston, so thank God Kingston was not very affected. Thank God, because it's a capital, all the infrastructure is there.
Right.
But our beautiful home in Treasure Beach got, it was ramsacked by Melissa.
Okay.
But we
Okay.
still have a roof, we still have
Yes.
a home with the walls are standing, but everything else around it was just devastated because we're right on the water. But
Mm,
I did lot of relief work right after the hurricane and went to some of the communities around Black River, and oh my gosh,
okay.
so I just have the funny thing about Melissa is just filled me with such gratitude for what I have and
Hmm.
be able to use that gratitude and that energy to help others.
I love that, Sharon. And it's funny you say that because I was thinking, we both live on islands, that people consider to be paradise and they experience in a very idyllic way. But we know that the reality is, yes, of course, we're very grateful. We live in this seemingly idyllic place, but we've also faced real vulnerability, especially in light of what we're going to call natural disasters for now. What, for you, what has this
Yeah.
moment revealed to you about resilience, care, and community?
Yeah. Wow, that's a beautiful question because it was so present for me
Mm,
right after Melissa, where I got very involved in relief work, especially around the Treasure Beach community, which is close to the Black River community, which is where was really
right.
the hardest hit. I mean, that beautiful
Mm,
historic town is pretty much gone, you know? And to see the Jamaican people who had just recovered from
honestly,
Hurricane Beryl
yep.
16 months you know, the even though this one was more traumatic, the quick resilience of it and the getting together to say we're
Mm,
going to help each other get through this was incredible. But what was also mind blowing was how quickly the NGOs jumped in. I mean, I was on the ground in Treasure Beach, and there was helicopters flying in from all these different incredible
okay.
global missions. To help, and people were so orderly and they were so
Mm,
grateful for the assistance. And then what I'm also happy about is these huge NGOs that have tons of money and fundraising, like American Friends for
yes.
Jamaica, Food for the Poor, Global Empowerment Movement. They've pumped so much money into Jamaica, but they're also thinking about the
Okay.
long term. So when you find so many people without homes, your first idea is let's just get
Mm-hmm.
cheap container homes. And they came in and said, let's think 5, 10 years out from now.
Right.
You want acres and acres of people living in container homes. Is that the Jamaica that you want to present to the world?
Mm,
And so we're having a rethink about how do we rebuild in a more sustainable way, but in a way that suits our
okay.
Caribbean character.
And I love that. I love that it's not just a quick fix, you know? I
Yes.
mean, even
Yes.
in the way that, and it really resonates for me personally, I have to say that, because Island Girls Rock, we've been around for 10 years now, and we have responded to quite a few natural disasters in our time, earthquakes, volcanoes erupting,
Yes.
hurricanes, like all the
Right.
things. And what we have learned through the years, when things first happen, of course your instinct is to rush in and help. That's your humanity. You want to rush in and help.
Yes.
But the best thing we have found is, yes, we'll let the bigger NGOs step in, and because they have the resources and they have the access. But in terms of the more grassroots on the ground organizations, what we have learned is to actually stand back and then let the residents, let the survivors, let the people on the ground actually say, you know what, this is what is going to help us in the long run.
Correct.
This is what's
Correct.
going to be sustainable for us. So, yes,
And
let the bigger guys with their money come true and do what they have to do,
yes.
feed us, clothe us,
Yes.
shelter us. But long term and sustainable care is how we operate. So, I love that what you're sharing with us is now the NGOs have been told this is kind of more what we want.
Yeah.
I love that. That's
We're
great.
thinking long term.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's it we also have to just start educating ourselves in how we build.
Yes.
So even just in my home, my retaining wall, which is right on the beach, it just got eaten alive by the ocean,
Oh,
by the sea.
wow.
So now we're building, a wall that's much more um yeah, more protective. And how do you
Hmm.
do that? How can we help others do that? So I think now when we're realizing that these natural disasters are coming a little harder
Yes, they are.
and a little faster than before, we have to build differently.
Yes. And
And
that for me is one of the key learnings for sure. And I know that there is a company, I feel it's in Barbados, um, that are actually doing just that. They're building homes with hurricane resilience in mind in terms of the roof and the shape of the
yeah,
roof and how that then is
exactly.
able to sustain these category 5 and more,
Hmm.
you know? Oh my
Exactly.
goodness.
Exactly.
So, Sharon, we've been speaking about physical space, but I
Yes.
kind of want to get into the way that you have been holding space for others as a teacher, guide, and wellness pioneer. Um, Especially in times like this, actually, when you've been impacted and you're also responding. What
Yes.
does care look like for you?
I've with my platform,
Mm,
I just feel like I'm so blessed because the yogic community, the wellness community, the fitness community, they operate differently. They're
yes,
just good people.
yes,
And a- anytime anything like this has happened, and it doesn't have to be an earthquake or a
mhm,
hurricane, there's so many times, it could be
mm,
a girl's home in need or a
mhm,
place that burnt down in a fire or whatever. My community are like first responders. They
mm,
they are, coming to the first charity yoga class. They are, donating left, right, and center, goods, dropping
yes,
off things, coming with me down on missions to help. So I feel so grateful for my community that has been doing this over the years. So
mm,
I owned a yoga studio for 14 years in Kingston,
mhm.
and we were known for our charity and our give back, and we
Okay.
had many, many, many events. So it's kind of in the culture of my community to give back, and it's so beautiful to see.
Nice. And you said you had a yoga studio, so is it no longer there? Did you step away from it?
Oh God, a heartbreak story.
Oh,
Yes, I had a yoga studio from 2000, way before its time,
all right.
2014,
Mm-hmm.
when my husband had to take a job on the North Coast.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, so Kingston, we had to move to Montego Bay.
Okay.
And I thought I could do it. I thought I could be bi-coastal, but this
Okay.
was before the highway was built, the North-South highway. And I had little kids at the time, and I just could not sustain it. Be
Mm.
living in Montego Bay and going back and forth to Kingston, and eventually had to close. It
Okay.
was heartbreaking because it was really the spiritual vortex of Kingston
Oh,
in a
wow.
way.
Okay.
It started as a yoga center in 2000, way before its time.
Mm-hmm.
And at about 2005, I was like, boy, girl, you either have to like do something different, or you have to put back on your high heel shoes and your
Mm-hmm.
tailor suits and go back to the corporate world. I'm like, no, I cannot. So
Right.
I thought about what do I do, because it just wasn't sustainable. And I decided to go to Miami and just stay there for 2 weeks and go to every single fitness institution and see what was happening and what were people doing and how they were integrating yoga. And that's when I discovered spinning, indoor cycling.
Yes, yes.
Indoor cycling was huge at the time in the early
Mm.
2000s.
It sure was.
And I said, you know what if I bought 12 bikes and introduced fitness along with the yoga? So that's exactly what I did.
Mm.
Bought 12 bikes, and I'm not lying, within 3 months, I bought 30 bikes.
No way.
Became the largest spinning studio in the Caribbean, actually, with the most bikes. So we had the yoga going on in one room
Mm.
and the spinning going on in one room. And so all the people that were just coming for spinning would have to pass by the yoga, and they were curious.
Right.
And all the yoga people, that I would tell all the yoga people, listen, you can't just get fit doing yoga. You have to do other stuff,
Yes. This is
right?
a fact.
Right. So all the yoga people started spinning, and then eventually I added weight training and Pilates and
Oh, wow.
Zumba and all these things. So it became this real. it was called, then I morphed it. It was called Shakti Yoga Center, and then it became Shakti Mind Body Fitness because it was total fitness.
Brilliant.
It was really filled this need, and there really hasn't been anything like it since.
Mm.
It was wonderful.
It
Those were the best years.
sounds wonderful. And I can hear in your voice that there's still definitely a longing or a yearning for that.
Yes, but you know what? I'm over it now.
Okay.
Finally,
She's moved on. She's detached.
because we moved back to Kingston, then COVID happened, and then
Right.
we started looking around for spaces, and the landscape has changed. And I started
Mm,
to think to myself, girl, you're turning 60. Do you really want to have that kind of responsibility? 18 teachers to deal with every week,
no.
open 7 days a week, 5:30 in the morning till 8:30 at night. Like, is this what you can really do right now or want?
Right.
And
No.
guess what? There are all these younger women doing it. And guess what? I'm teaching at their studio, showing up, teaching.
Wonderful.
That's my happiest place right now.
I love that. And you know what, Sharon? That is such a beautiful segue into the question that I have in mind to ask you because you said something there's like, I'm turning 60. Do I really want, these same type of responsibilities? Like you said, the early mornings, late evenings, long days. No. So this
Yes,
is my next question for you.
yes.
Midlife brings its own physical, emotional, and spiritual shifts. We have perimenopause, menopause,
Mhm.
postmenopause, often whilst we're still very much caring and pouring into others. What have you noticed that women in this season need most?
Well, let's start with
Oh,
perimenopause.
please let's. Okay, because
Uh,
I'm right here. I'm right
all right.
here in the thick of it.
Well, I don't know about you, but nobody talked about menopause when I was going through it. Not,
Nobody.
my mother never mentioned the word. My friends didn't talk about it. Nobody talked about it. And I
Right.
had kids pretty late. I have three kids, and my
Hmm.
last child was born at 43. So
Okay.
I was late. I was also, so when I closed the studio and moved to Montego Bay and was like, what am I going to do with my life now?
Mm.
Something amazing. Just, things just, if you're a multi-passionate wellness entrepreneur, things evolve and change over time.
Yes,
So
for sure.
then I started to say, well, why don't I just take small groups and work with small groups of women,
Hmm.
changing their fitness, their nutrition, and their mindset. And so I started doing these small 7-day detox programs where people would
Right.
come to my house, they would practice yoga. I would cook breakfast, lunch, dinner, and all snacks for them.
Hmm.
They would leave with 7 days worth. Well, they would leave every day with their breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. And they would be doing this whole week of no sugar, no alcohol, no wheat, no dairy, and all these high vitality foods, gluten free,
Mm.
wheat free, delicious foods. And that's
Right.
where the book came from. But anyway, back to perimenopause. So I started to develop all of this while, unbeknownst to me, I was in
Oh
perimenopause.
boy.
So this thing, I mean, if I thought my yoga studio was busy and crazy, this thing bloomed and blossomed so quickly that I found myself like doing these programs over and over, repeating them in Kingston. I would go to Kingston for a
Mm.
week, I'd go back to Montego Bay. I would do one in Miami. I'd do one in New York. I'd do one all over. Wherever I was called, I was going.
Okay.
And now 3 young kids dealing with, and just
How?
started
Sharon,
to
how were you doing this?
because I didn't know what was happening. I didn't understand why I stopped sleeping at night,
Oh my gosh.
why I was starting to feel anxiety, something I
Oh,
never
the
felt before.
anxiety. Yes.
Like, why am I like 1 minute crying and the next minute I'm happy, and all so through it all I just kept pushing, pushing, pushing,
Wow.
because I was loving what I was doing,
Okay.
and B, I'm a person, I'm just a service minded person, and I
Right.
felt I had something that women really needed, and it was obvious, and it was filling a
Mm.
void. But I got to the point where I literally burnt out,
Mm-hmm.
and I did not have any idea what was going on. And I ended up being in the States taking my kids to, my youngest daughter is dyslexic, so I'd taken her to a special camp.
Right.
I went to the doctor. I'm like, what is wrong with me? All this stuff is going on. I'm crying all the time, and my hair is falling out, like not
Uh-huh.
sleeping at all. I'm exhausted. And he's like, could you be in menopause? And I'm like, what? What is that? I didn't think yoga people got menopause.
Why? Sharon, explain this to me,
I
please.
have to admit, I just saw because over the years, I've been
Right.
doing this. I've been 30, so all these menopausal women would come to my yoga classes and they would be like, "Oh my God, I'm going through this and I'm going through
Mhm.
that." And I'd be like, be in the back of my mind, so, so terrible. We say like, God, if they just cleaned up their diet and meditate,
Right. Okay. Okay.
right?
As if it's
I,
that easy. Oh, if
I
only.
didn't think yoga people got menopause, right?
Right. Okay.
When I did my test then and got my hormones tested, he's like, "You're when did you have your last period?" It didn't even occur to me. I thought maybe I was pregnant.
Right.
He was like, "You're in full blown menopause." And I was
No.
like, "What?"
Wait, wait. So Sharon, you had actually gone through perimenopause.
I had gone through
You
perimenopause.
hadn't bled for 12 months.
Yes.
And so
And
you were now
I
technically
just
in
thought
menopause.
I was one of those that I got a lot of bleeding, like not it just like I would bleed for like 20 days.
Oh,
So, but I just didn't think I was in menopause. I really didn't. I just
okay.
thought, so it was such a, a slap, talk about,
Mm,
knocking your socks off, right?
right.
And, I really had to recalibrate my life. And that is when the pivotal moment when I decided I am going to put this 7-day online detox program into an online format,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to write a cookbook
Mm-hmm.
so that people can learn how to do this food for themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and they can learn how they can go online and buy this program, or I can take them on the program through a 7-day detox, but
Right.
not no more of this in-person thing,
Okay.
going here, there, and everywhere. So it forced me to shift the way that I served others.
Wow. Sharon,
Yeah,
the thing is, right? You mentioned in terms of the 7-day detox plan and eating, all the right things. This is what happened to me during perimenopause. Okay. I'd
hmm,
been eating that way for most of my adult life, right? So when I was a teenager, I became very curious about nutrition and movement and energy and vibrations. I don't Somebody gave me a book when I was 15, and
right,
I can't even remember the book now, but it just opened up my mind to a very different way of
right,
living. And so for most of my adult life, I was the one eating the pumpkin seeds, the sunflower seeds,
right,
way before it became like really trendy. My bestie was a 7-day Adventist and they were strictly plant-based at their home. So when I would go over there and they were into yoga and so even here growing up on Nevis, I was always very curious and what people considered alternative. And so as I traveled the world as a young adult and then an adult, I was eating all the good things and doing all the things. But what
right,
I found happened during perimenopause is that my body decided, I want chocolate, I want cheese, I want sugar, I want
right. Right. All the things because your hormones were so out of
the
balance,
complete opposite. I was like, what? Sharon, when I tell you, even as a child, I didn't like chocolate.
Yeah,
All of
wow.
a sudden, when I hit 40, and I remember saying it to one of my mentors, I don't know what's going on, but I've been eating all of this chocolate. I think I was 45
Right,
ish. I
right,
started to just nyam off chocolate.
right.
I'm
Yama.
like, wait, who is this person? Like, I never, even though I had a sweet tooth, I never was that chocolate person, right?
Yes,
But now all of a sudden, I want chocolate. All of a sudden, I want cheese. Like, I
right.
want all, but I didn't know. Now I understand, as you've just said, it was a hormonal imbalance because I was losing the estrogen, right?
Yes,
and losing some progesterone and all the things. And my body was like, hello.
I wish someone, if you know, and the thing is, if we had the education like people are, like women are being educated now, which is so
I
incredible,
love it. Yes.
to just say, all right, this is a moment where you need to turn inwards.
Mm-hmm.
This is a moment where you need to be more gentle with yourself. This is
Yes.
a moment where you need to rest more.
Yes.
This is a moment where you need to start strength training.
Yes.
It's just doing cardio and yoga because you are losing muscle
Yeah.
and gaining fat. This is a moment where you need to start, not eating past a certain hour at night so your body can have enough time to digest.
Yes.
There's so many things that we were not taught. And so it is my mission
Mm.
to help women to understand these things, not just in perimenopause and menopause, but also in their 50s and 60s,
Yes.
so that we now can focus on where I'm heading now is the longevity space.
Thank you. I love that word. Say it again.
The longevity space. How
Love
can
it.
we make sure that our health span
Mm-hmm.
is equal to our lifespan?
Mm.
So you and I know we don't know what life is going to bring. We could drop dead tomorrow. We could drop dead at 75. We
Yes,
could drop
indeed.
dead at 85. My mother is 85 and she is like bouncing off the walls healthy, right? And
Mm.
but we
Goals.
don't know we don't know what life is going to bring us. What we want to be sure of is no matter what age that we live to, we want to live a healthy life full of vitality,
Mm-hmm.
full of community, full of good health, friendships, and
Yes.
fun and adventure. So
Yes.
that is kind of where my mission has changed now because I'm in that space turning 60.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to show women that today is the youngest you'll ever be,
Right?
right? Today is the youngest I will ever be,
Today. Today,
right?
right now.
Youngest. So
Mm.
how can I make sure that every day is just, a beautiful day and that I feel good? So
Mm.
the pillars of longevity, the things that we can do now to make sure 20 years from now we're still feeling great.
Mm.
And
Sharon. Yes. Yes.
yes, speaking your language. Yes.
Yes. So your work, I mean, in listening to you and I feel like I've been following you on social media for a few years, and I find that your work is deeply rooted in Jamaican traditions of wellness, food, movement, rest, like you've just said, bush
Hmm.
medicine, and community, which you've spoken about during this conversation at length. How do
Yes.
those practices support women differently than the very fast, hyper trend driven wellness culture that we're seeing today? Because that is what I see. I see it's almost become a trend, the wellness world, and everyone wants to be doing the same things and to be seen doing the same things all the time. Like it's all about matchas and this, and it's
Mm.
very much an aesthetic thing, I'm finding. And so it's like wellness, it's a trend. So where do you find your space in that, and remain in your integrity and authenticity as a true carer for women?
Wow. Thank you for asking that question because although I'm so delighted to see wellness explode in the way that it
Mm,
has. I mean, I don't know about Nevis,
hmm
but in Jamaica in the last year alone,
hmm
it has literally exploded, which has been so wonderful to me as somebody that has been, singing this song for so many
Yes.
years and, to see it finally become mainstream and to see all the young people getting involved.
Mm,
But I do pray that it is for the right reasons, and that what they're doing is not just because it's a trendy thing to do, but you can't fight it because that's a good trend. The trend that's happening, where people are not drinking as much, that's a great trend.
hmm
The trend that people are exercising more, to me, that's great.
Yes.
But let us stay true to the real reasons. And the real reasons are the habits that we create now in our 30s and 40s are the habits that are going to predict how we are going to be in our 60s, 70s, and
Mm-hmm.
80s.
Mm-hmm.
And let us think more about longevity versus just style and fashion, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so this is what I am teaching. So I'm about to launch my 10-day. I haven't done an online program in 3 years.
Okay.
I was so intense in COVID, like it, because I was so set up for my online program was already up and running
Mm-hmm.
in 2019 with my detox program, and my cookbook was out. So when COVID hit, I went so deep online, and my community, thank God, exploded in COVID, but I just got a burnout.
Yes.
So I was like, second burnout. So it's like, I don't want to do online anymore. I just want to do in person.
In
I've spent
person. Yes.
in person, which has been great, but I miss my global community.
Okay.
And so at the end of this month, I'm launching my new online program, which is a 10-day longevity reset
Oh,
program,
nice. I
which
love
is designed to teach women the systems that they need to put in place to create all the metrics that are going to create that ability to have a health span that matches their lifespan.
I think this is wonderful. So we
Thank you.
must share the details in our show notes,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
We'll
please.
definitely share that for our listeners. That's
Yes.
important work, Sharon. That's really, really important.
Thank you.
You've spoken about strength not just as something physical, but as something internal and evolving, right? How has your understanding of strength changed as you've moved through this beautiful midlife that we're both experiencing?
I think how has it changed is what's changed is that it has become much more important to me.
Hmm.
Strength of my own physical body,
Hmm.
but also cultivating inner strength. I keep saying all the time, the Darwin would say it was a survival of the fittest. The
Right,
fittest one will survive. My take on where we are in the world now, it's the survival of the spiritually fit,
right.
the ones that have the faith and the ability to persevere through all the challenges. Because I think we're in a time in the world where everything, the old paradigm is breaking down in every way possible.
It is.
And we're rebuilding something that can be absolutely beautiful if we allow it.
Mm.
And the ones that are going to be able to navigate all the rapid change that is going to happen, and this with AI, and I mean, it's insane what we're going to be going through in the next 5 years.
Hmm.
The ones that are the most spiritually fit and grounded are the ones that are going to come through this on the other side and be the best off, because they're
Yes.
been able to have the faith that something better is coming.
Yes. And, with everything that's happening globally, so not just for us regionally, but on a global level, when we
Yeah,
see the sheer and utter madness,
yeah,
you know, that is happening in America,
yeah.
in Sudan, in Italy, in Morocco. It's like
Everywhere.
it's just
And
everywhere. Gaza. I mean, how could I not even speak about
Venezuela,
Gaza?
you know.
You know?
Who is what's next? It's like it's like a
Yes.
show. What's next?
Yes. And I think for me, that has become one of my concerns when we even think about people's health and their nervous systems,
Yes.
because it feels like we're all on tenderhooks. So we go
Yeah,
to sleep for those of us that can even get a good night's sleep, right?
yeah,
But you wake up almost in anticipation of what now?
yeah.
You know,
What's next?
what
Yeah.
what has happened now since I've been sleeping? What am I
Ex-
waking up to? And this is not a state of being and existence that puts us in the best place to thrive and to get, as you said, through the next few years and come out of that thriving spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So I think my question for you, my next question is, how can we ground ourselves? How can we ground ourselves? And whatever your faith is, so whether it's, Christianity, whether it's Judaism, Islam, no faith, and not even not no faith, but more spiritual and energetic and vibrational, whatever that is, how do we ground ourselves in that to almost not to cut off the noise so that we're not aware of what's happening, and awareness then brings, well, how can I serve, right? How can I
Mhm.
support? But how can we tend to ourselves to ensure that we're okay?
Well, I think you said it so beautifully there. It starts with nervous system regulation. Our nervous systems are so dysregulated.
Hmm.
And I think the three things that help with that and mitigate that is number one, no matter what faith you are, like you said, spending 5, 10, 15, 20, if you can do it, moments, minutes in the morning in meditation,
Mhm.
just listening or attuning to your breath, just being still, being able to sit with your thoughts, being able to observe your thoughts as they run across the screen of your mind is almost vital now for our well being. If we are to compare that to the person that the first thing that they do in the morning is pick up their phone and scroll Instagram,
Mm.
those are going to be two different humans.
Yes.
The second thing that is absolutely vital for nervous system regulation is time in Mother Nature.
Mm.
And we are so blessed to live in the Caribbean where we can jump in the sea quite very easily.
Every day for me.
Well, you're lucky, not
I'm
so
not playing.
very nice. I would be like if I was in a smaller island. It's not so easy for us, but
Yes.
get outside, get stop narrowing your focus down to these tiny screens.
Mm.
Get outside, get your peripheral vision going, and connect with something that's greater than you.
Yes.
And the third thing is community. You are the sum total of the five people that you spend the most time with.
Mm.
And some of us are not even spending time with people. We're following people online.
Yes.
You make sure that those five people that you're following or you're spending time with are lifting your spirits up,
Mm.
are creating a positive container for you and you for them. Those three things will help us to be grounded and have the strong inner strength, like we talked about. So there's an inner strength and there's an outer strength, that physical strength that we also need to build in order to have the strength and vitality to face whatever comes. You
Indeed.
know,
Indeed.
yes.
You one of the three things that you mentioned, of course, was being in nature, right?
Mm.
And grounding ourselves in nature and ensuring that our eyes are not just looking at devices all day. And I've found on the days that, for whatever reason, because I do my morning walks with one of my neighbors.
Right.
And if there's a day that either one of us can't make it, and so I don't have that first, my first real connection in the morning is with the ocean, is
Yeah.
with my feet on the sand. The days that
Right.
I don't have that, I'm almost off kilter.
They're different.
Yeah, I'm a different,
Absolutely.
I respond to things differently.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
It's
And
important.
there's also, I mean, let's take this a little step further too. There's also that morning sunlight in your
Oh,
eyes
yes.
that sets up your body, your circadian system,
Mm.
so that at nighttime you start to, when you wake up and face the sun, everybody's been telling us for all these years, don't go in the sun, put on your sunblock, blah, blah.
Right.
I have never used sunblock.
No.
Right? I don't because I've just always can't like something deep inside told me the sun is life.
Yes.
Right? I'm careful. I wear a hat, I wear whatever,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
wake up and put your eyeballs in the sunlight.
Hmm.
That sets your circadian system so that you get a better sleep at night. So then you're a better human being in the day. And it's just that whole cycle of going back to the times where we rose with the sun. We slept when the moon rose.
Yes.
And that's kind of how I am framing my life right now.
Yes, Sharon, I
Yes.
feel I just got goosebumps, right? Because my mom often jokes about me that as a child, I have not changed from I'm up with the sun, and the
Yeah.
minute that sun has set, Shani is done for the day. She said,
Done.
You have been the same. And she says this to people. My child has been the same since she was a baby. Up with
Yeah.
the sun, bright and early, boom bam. When it
No,
I'm gone.
nobody takes you after that time. You're
Nobody, listen, Sharon, even when it comes to parties, I am a day party girl. Yes.
same. I'm
You
the same.
you tell Shani come to a day party, I am rolling
There.
up. I'm there.
Me too.
You
Me
tell
too.
me meet me at 9, I'm like
Lord,
9.
listen, mm-mm. It is my divine bedtime. Yeah.
I
And it,
love that. I love it so much. But Sharon, you touched on something there. Sleep and the
yes.
importance of a good night's rest.
Mm-hmm.
For what is your best advice? What is your advice for women who are in the throes of it, the peri, the meno, or the post, where our
Mm-hmm.
sleep patterns have been disrupted? How do we get back into getting the sleep that our bodies absolutely need to restore?
Wow. Again, something I wish somebody had told me because when I was
Mm.
going through all of that, I remember that I was drinking coffee like in the afternoon, like a huge cup of
Mm.
coffee just to keep going in the afternoon because I was
Right,
so exhausted because I wasn't sleeping the night before. So number one, that was throwing off my sleep anyway, right?
right.
But what has worked for me so beautifully is just being so conscious and strict about my sleep hygiene.
Hmm.
So I make sure that at 7 o'clock at night, my phone is down.
Yes.
Okay, everything is off. I'm not looking at the Instagram. I'm not answering any texts and questions. I am done for the day.
Mm.
That is when I start to wind down. The phone is down, and then everything goes from there. Take my shower. I like to take a cold shower in the night.
Hmm. And why do you do that?
Because it cools your body, especially for women.
Hmm.
You want to have a cool body as possible and a cool bedroom as possible
Nice.
in order to get a good night's sleep. You also, one of the new rules that I have instigated just not only for me, but for my whole family, is we take a 10-minute walk after dinner.
Oh, I love that.
Call it our digestive walk. It helps you
Yes.
digest your food. Some people you see on the internet now, they're calling it their fart walks. I don't know if you've seen that.
I have not.
I love it. I'm not calling mine the fart walk, but I could probably I could, right?
Right.
Go, yeah, just let everything go. 10 minutes walk, it helps you to lower your insulin. Uh,
Mm.
it just helps your body to digest your food better and you sleep so much better. So
Okay.
phones down at 7, digestive walk after dinner, cold shower at night. Room is cool, very cool, 68 degrees.
Mm.
And I try to read at night versus watching TV. I can't
Yes.
say I'm perfect
Yes.
because my husband does love a
I
Netflix.
was just gonna say Netflix, man.
Yeah, I know that really killed us, didn't it?
It has.
But I will read like 4 times for the week at night, and he will
Mm.
read also, and then a couple nights, 3 nights a week, we'll watch our show. But that to me has been a game changer.
Okay.
And then I set my alarm. No, so if I, if that I'm waking, that it's 8 hours, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
8 hours from when I go to bed. So let's say I do have to go out and do something and I get home at 11,
Mm-hmm.
then I make sure to not set my alarm for, that I'm getting my
Okay.
8 hours
Right.
minimum. I
Right.
need 8 hours. Some people need 7. I function at 8 hours well.
I love that. I don't think since I was 47 and
Hmm.
I'm now 52, Sharon, I don't think I have slept for 8 hours more than 10 times. Yeah,
Mm.
my sleep health
Yeah.
has been absolutely disrupted. It's now I've been very intentional over the last
Yes.
few months because it's taken such a toll on me
Yeah.
that
Oh,
I just was like, this is not, I cannot go through how knows how, because women can be in perimenopause for up to 10 years, right?
yeah.
I'm like, I can't do this. Like, this is not sustainable. It is. I think I've had many burnouts since I turned 47 and hit, my heights of perimenopause. I have been very intentional in the last few months. I'm taking my magnesium
Good.
glycinate.
Good.
I'm being very intentional with my nose in terms of my work and how much I
Yes.
take on. I'm giving myself more grace. I'm
Yes.
self-employed. And there is a tendency, I'm not going to speak for all self employed people and freelancers, but there is a tendency that we operate from a space of, well, I don't know if I'm going to have this much work next month. So let me
Yeah.
just say yes to everything, right? But
Same.
saying yes to everything means that you are going to be tired and you're not operating from a place of grounded and strength and restorative,
Yeah.
that's the word, you know
Restorative. Yes.
restorative. We're operating from lack and from just in case. And I was like, you know what, my health is far more important than this, you know
Absolutely.
and you said, for me, you said it this evening and earlier in our conversation, that longevity, I
Yes.
want to be healthy for the next 30 years, 40 years, if I live to be 101, like my grandfather. And he was very healthy and thriving at
Right.
101. So I have had
Yeah.
a prime example. And so, for anyone listening to this, it's like you don't have anything to prove to anyone.
Exactly. Exactly. And try that routine. Try that 10-minute walk after dinner.
Yes, I will.
Try the cold shower. And then, of course, turning off the devices and just, you know, just say, you say to your mind, this is my time. I'm
Yes,
winding down.
yes.
and you'll find that it really it starts to become a habit, and you start to stack all the habits, and then
Mm,
all of a sudden you find, oh, I slept 7 hours tonight, oh, I
yes.
slept 8 hours, oh my god. And I do wear a tracker, I do wear the Whoop. I don't know if you know what a
I've
Whoop is.
no. Tell us, what is the whoop?
I love the Whoop. It's a tracker. It's a device that you wear on your arm,
Hmm.
not like an Apple Watch. It doesn't have a watch on it, and it tracks your sleep.
Oh, wow.
So by being super intentional this last, well, I got it for my birthday in April.
Hmm.
By being super intentional for the whole of last year with my sleep and my sleep hygiene, I have been able to really see the difference in my
Okay.
quality of
The
sleep and the
whoop.
fact that, but yeah, WHOOP.
Okay.
And finally say now I'm getting 8 hours of sleep most nights.
I love that for you.
Yeah,
And I say
yeah.
so without an ounce of jealousy.
I know, I know. I love it for you too. Trust me, I'm a different woman. I'm a different woman.
Of course. Okay. The whoop. So we'll definitely include that in the show notes as well, because I
Yes.
know you have dropped so many gems
Thank you.
already, for not just for women, but for anyone who's listening to this episode. So Sharon, my final question for you, as you look ahead, what feels most important for you to protect, preserve, or prioritize in your body, your work, and your way of living, the way that you show up?
Big question. So, with my physical body, the first and foremost, I think for me, family,
Hmm.
my children, my aging parents.
Mm,
That is my number one focus.
yes.
Even though I am so deep in my work and so passionate about what I do, and I do a lot,
Hmm.
I find that whereas for many years work came first,
Yes.
it has finally switched over, and it's family first,
Yes.
and whatever that takes. And so I therefore take on less
Mm-hmm.
so that I can be much more present. And
Wow.
I have, you know, there was times in my life where I was so driven that I wasn't as present as I
Mm-hmm.
wished I was for my children.
Okay.
And I just feel like the kids of the today really need, they need that so deeply, you know, and I need to be with them. So that is my first thing. For my own physical self, it's really about how can I keep just doing things that bring me joy. So what's bringing me joy
Mm.
now is teaching at these new studios that everybody else is owning, and
Right.
um, w- um, I just became a certified breathwork facilitator.
Lovely.
So I
Congratulations.
thank you. I'm loving that, and I
Nice.
look forward this year to offering that much more. That is, it is such transformational work.
Mm-hmm.
So breath work and focusing on just really enjoying what I do. And if I'm not enjoying it, forget it.
Yes.
And you know, I've upheld a certain, like you, I upheld a certain way of living for a long, long time.
Right.
You know, I've really tried to live consciously for a long time, and I think I just want to get deeper and deeper into that. You know, deeper and deeper also into helping others to live
Yes.
more consciously as well.
Yes, for sure. So much of what you just shared really resonates with me, Sharon, especially you mentioned caring for your parents, right?
Mm,
And I find, I returned to Nevis. It's going to be, I think, 4 years in February, 4 years ago now. And, since I've been here, my grandfather has transitioned. My maternal grandmother had transitioned a few years prior to COVID. Um, and I'm now, spending much more time with my parents. And it's
yeah,
it's been a really interesting experience because it's almost as if I'm parenting my parents right now.
exactly,
And
exactly.
at times it's very funny. And at times I feel like, are you teenagers right now? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, exactly. As
So
Bob Marley said, once a man, twice a
twice a
child.
child, and I'm seeing it, and I love them. I love them. And also there's a little bit of not sadness, but wistfulness as I see them physically aging as well, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And not being able to do the things that they're accustomed to doing, especially with my dad. There is a lack of willingness to accept that he's no longer 25 and that
Right.
may need help with mowing the lawn, or and I
Right.
understand how this must feel for him because he's used
Yeah.
to being that person who fixes everything, but physically he can no longer do that. And finding myself just being more gentle with him because of that, and not getting frustrated that I
Being
asked him not to go up the ladder, like I could
right.
do that myself, and
Yeah.
understanding why. So it's been quite a journey to be on the other side of that. And I feel that many midlifers also, this is a shared experience, right?
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
So important. Yeah,
Mm.
we really feel like, I feel like we're on the same path, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
For sure, for sure. Sharon, it's been so lovely having this conversation with you. Thank
Thank you.
you.
You
Thank
too.
you for showing up, with such honesty, steadiness and care, especially in a moment when so much is being asked of you and your community. So thank you for saying yes to us and for honoring this commitment, for showing up for this podcast. You know, a lot of what you have shared really reminds us that wellness is not about performance or perfection, but more about being present. It's about connecting and tending to what truly, truly matters, particularly, as women moving through midlife. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing all of your expertise with us. we'll definitely be looking out for your online offerings. And I'm happy that you're coming back to that global community.
Thank, thank you.
Really.
Thank you,
And
Sharon.
no, you're so welcome. And thank you for all that you're doing for the Treasure Beach community. We'll include as much information as possible about
Great.
everything that's happening there. And you please stay in touch. Let us know how the villa is coming on with the rebuilding. If you need a squad of Island Girls Rock to volunteer and come and
I
help
love
out,
it. I love
I'm sure
it.
I'm sure we can have a little community come out and spend some time with you. I mean, to help you rebuild, of course. So
Thank you, Shani.
definitely.
Thanks to you and Bree, and keep on doing the good work that you're doing, sharing what women are doing across the Caribbean, and it's just such important work. We really do rock.
We do. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to the Island Girls Rock podcast. We'll be back soon with more stories, voices, and love from across the Caribbean. You can find us wherever you get your podcast fix. Until next time, walk good.